All right, let's, as we approach the conclusion of our special on the flooding in KwaZulu-Natal, let's bring in eNCA senior reporter Dasen Thathiah for his recollection. And in a way, Dasen, I always think of you in my mind as part of the rapid deployment team here at eNCA, in that you are, among the people who are almost always first on the ground as the story breaks. Just take me through some of your recollections then of piecing together these pieces of devastation and them coming together into a picture that tells of a wider catastrophe that befell the province over the past month or so.
Tulas, I've been asked this question so many times, not that question, but the question of what has been the worst memory for you, or which of the families do you think was worst affected? And, people are always curious about this, considering that we've been covering this for so long. And it's always such a difficult question to answer because you can't quantify pain and you can't quantify loss. So you have one family that may have lost one person, and I hate using the word just one person. They may have lost one person, and another family may have lost 10 people, but you can't quantify that. So when I'm asked that question now, I often say it was all bad. The entire 6 weeks, or however long it's been, has been bad. Yesterday there was a level of anxiety that I felt when the rain came, and that's such an innocuous sound, and I can only imagine what those families were feeling. Those that lost their homes, those that lost their children. Our colleague Siphamandla spoke about the Gumbi family, and I'll start there. That one sticks out for me, not because I feel that their loss was worse than any other. It was because I was on a boat with Nokupila Gumbi. She's the mother of one of those girls that Siphamandla was talking about. And she was searching for her child's body and the bodies of her nieces as well, because other efforts just came to naught. The search and rescue efforts, the teams had gone out there, the family had searched, Mgeni Water had assisted with organizing a boat, and up until that point, nothing had happened. And she had said that she wants to get onto this boat, and we were with her, and I was watching her closely, and I couldn't even comprehend what it would take for a mother to go through that. On the other end of the scale, just this week, I spoke to Siobhan Engels. She was a mother who had lost 2 of her sons. And that also told me that there were so many stories that were untold. There were so many families that we hadn't reached, so many people that we hadn't spoken to, yet all of them experiencing the same pain. I hope in some way, Tulas, and I won't speak for too long, because this package that we've put together should speak volumes and should tell you some of what was going on in the past few weeks and what some of those victims' families were experiencing. We've put together this package, and I'd like to bring it in now, just to take you back to that time and show you what this tragedy was really about.
There are millions of cute TikTok videos, but Siobhan Engels will never get bored of these. Her sons, Joshua and Leighton, are the creators. The boys lived on this property with Engels' ex-husband before the rain reduced their home to nothing. Engels found out hours after the tragedy.
I threw a tantrum like a kid. Sorry. I remember hitting the door, and then I don't remember anything after that. So I remember the girls coming through and asking me what's wrong, and I told them to just leave the room, just to make me coffee, just to distract them. I needed them to know that I was there. Sorry, I needed them to know that I was there and that I loved them. I think if I didn't go, I would have regretted it. And I wasn't going to go, and Gareth's mom actually changed my mind. She said they need to know that they're loved and that I was there, and then I got to say goodbye. I just want to hold them, because I went to see them on the day it happened, and I spent a little bit of time with each of them. Sorry, maybe I did forget to add that Joshua came out alive. He did come out alive. He was chronic asthmatic since 2 weeks old. nobody could get there to help. And he had 2 asthma attacks. The first one, they resuscitated him and he came back. Second one took him.
I'll take it.
Josh was a nerd. He was quiet, you never saw him, but he was kind and he was a protector. He looked after his brothers and sisters. Every morning he would check on his brother in his class at school. So Joshua was very much a protector, and I would hope to think that he was still a mommy's boy, because he always was. Leighton just always wanted to play outside because he was a huge sportsman and he was going to be amazing. Leighton, I always played cricket outside with him, or our next best thing was watching movies or just laying and cuddling. Because this is a pain nobody should go through. No one. I don't wish this on anybody.
Lubanzi, Asanda, and Slindokuhle Gumbi were inseparable. They were together for the last time on the night of the 11th of April. That's when the rains washed their home away.
At the front of the boat is Nokupila Gumbi, and Nokupila, it's always difficult talking to you during this time because of what's happening. Just over the past 3 weeks, we've seen the family searching, we've seen the police searching. We are now on a boat with you, and as you search. And how have you been managing to deal with the past few weeks?
Kuyasinda. Imagine uma wengane yami bezifundela ingane yakhe kanjena ngoba sengamngele noma isiphi isimenzo ngomfica eyisona. In fact bobo nabo bayi3 la ngizobathola bekhona akulutho as long as ngizothola ithambo. So nje kahle kahle ngisakudinga ukuthi sithola usizo lwangempela. Engathi singathola abantu abazongena nangaphansi kwamanzi manje, because phezulu kwamanzi sekhanjiwe njengoba nathi sihamba phezulu kwamanzi sekhanjiwe phezulu kwamanzi kaningi. Still akutholwa lutho. Engathi nje besingabathola even nama-excavator azolapha kulesa sihlabathi. Ngoba sesihlabathi asisazi lapha yana sisha. So kungenzeka umuntu agcibwe isihlabathi, kungenzeka agcitshwe amatshe. Into nje ehlezi emqondweni wami indlela bebehleze bexoxa ngamaphupha abo ngayo. Njengoba ngeke ngasho nasekuqaleni sinanama video abo bekhuluma ukuthi nje Silinde kuhle ufuna ukudokotela wenhliziyo, ufuna ukufunda phesheya. Mangabe umtshela ukuthi kiwa ngemali athi mina ngizoya ngamama kami. Yabo mangabe sibuka lo ma video ucabanga ngendlela izingane beziyona bekuyizingane nje eziphansi ke ezithanda ukudlala, zithanda ukuzidlalela endlini, ziyadlala, zihlele eduze ngamamkhulu wazo. Akuzona izingane eziwuvanzi. So ukubheka yonke loyo nto leyo uma ngabe nje ukubuyisa emqondweni uzibona ukuthi cha ungathi umzali wesahluleki hlasempe uhlulekile ukubavikela.
In Kwantengezi, the Ntulis know a similar pain. 11-month-old Lwandile Mapumulo, 9-year-old Tandeka Ntuli, 11-year-old Luyanda Ntuli, 8-year-old Asanda Mapumulo, 32-year-old Tembisile Ntuli, and 25-year-old Ntomi Ziningi Mapumulo were taken by the floodwaters.
Bese nginethembe elikhulu ngisayishisa umndeni wami ke sengiyawuthola manje luso nakhona bafikile izolo basesha basi bazobuya namhlanje kodwa namhlanje futhi liyashonila ngababuyanga shuthi mina umndeni wami ngengize ngongcwabe mina ngoba phela iwona umndeni wami kade nginawo osisimama bawuthula omdala nje bekuye nama wami lo mncane yena into engiphatha kabi wahamba nengane emhlanje nengane yami ingane yakho uyibona kade phambi kwakho kodwa emva kwaloko awusayiboni uyalala ekseni uyalala ebusuku uyavuka ntambama wazi ukuthi kephi imphathile njengoba mina ngiphathile idlile njengoba mina ngidla mengiphuza amanzi waphuzile yini yona ngifisa ukwazi ukuthi uhulumeni waseSouth Africa uyazini ukuthi yini ukuthwala umuntu for 9 months uyazini ukuthi yini ukulahlekelwa umndeni mina bese kumndeni wami bese ngingasenabani anginababa ugogo amade ngimngcwaba last year anginakhaya kwimanje anginakhaya umndeni wami ngifuna ukubona ithambo ngifuna ukudela ngibona ithambo ngoba mekuthi awutholakala umndeni wami shithi nami ayikho engiyiphilelayo shithi nami zokufanele bangicwabe shithi nami futhi ngingathola kanzi uhamba ngiyiphonse emanzini.
The future of about 40,000 people displaced by the floods is a developing crisis.
The problem is government systems. You know what? First of all, who's going to make a decision which land to give? You can't build on a floodplain anymore, so you've got to build somewhere else. Whose decision does that fall under? National housing, human settlements, provincial human settlements, eThekwini municipality, and that's the biggest problem in systems, that even if you put the money down, they won't know how to spend it, because the mechanisms to spend it is very complicated. So it's not only a question of money. Yes, there is some issue about money not coming through and money being available and not being available. That is a major crisis. But more than that is the system and the mechanism of how to release that money to make sure it goes to the right people at the right time. And it's 1 month is too late. You know, this thing should have started weeks ago.
Okungiphethe kabuhlungu ukuhlala kwamlana kungiphethe kahle ngoba sihlele sibaningi njengoba sibaningi njena lokugula kukhona okusokufikile iCovid ebusuku asilali siyakhohlela sonke nginaleyo nkinga enkulu ukuthi ungabe ngizophuma la noma ngeke ngiphume yini futhi okunye ayikho into abasibikelayo ukuthi izindlu zoyithola noma ngasiyitholile thulekile nje thethu asilali futhi ebusuku nabanye abanezingane ezincane siyakula nje kumanje khona umunye nje futhi osasibhedlela nginaleyo nkinga enkulu angekho right.
More than 400 people are no longer with us after a brutal downpour. The death toll could have been far higher. Search and rescue teams moved quickly to save 165 people. But weeks after the storm, some grieving families have only memories to turn to in their absence of closure.
From our tally that we last had was 237, and most of those have not been found. Those were from the feedback directly that we got from the families and from the neighbors. Name, age, area, how washed away, where they were, what fell on them, and that's from what they know. About the ones that they don't know, nobody knows. To me, the tally is probably far more than 300, if not even beyond that.
There are few words of comfort that can ease the pain and the anguish and the torment of those people who have lost their loved ones. We have done it before, and we are now called upon once again to demonstrate our solidarity as we did during the period, the heightened period of COVID-19. May God continue to bless our country and protect its people.